Alignment setup for the front. This is the last thing that I have left in order to have the car race ready for this year, is get a proper alignment put on it, because I'll have to do a little bit of ride height adjustment still to factor that in. Right now I've got the ride height just initially set up where it's pretty even all the way around the car. The nose is a little bit lower than the rear, just to put a little bit of rake in the car. However, I'll open the door and step in and you can see just how much the ride height is going to change based upon my weight. That might be a half an inch or so. It's hard to say because I can't really measure it, but obviously that's going to affect not only the ride height in the front on the driver's side, but also the rear. You can visually see that both move down, which means that it's probably increasing the ride height on the passenger side. So we're going to want to adjust the coilovers to try to get an even leveled out ride height with the driver weight in the vehicle. I want an accurate ride height to try to even out the contact patches on all four tires. So I decided to level up my ride height. I raised the ride height on the driver's front because that was the lowest one. The highest one was the passenger rear, and the passenger front, driver's rear were sitting right at 25 and an eighth or a 16th, right to the bottom of the fender lip. Now that I've just set it down off the jack stand, we're going to roll the car back and forth a little bit, try to let it settle out, compress the suspension some, and just try to make sure we don't have any binding going on. Alright, we've got the ride height set. Also, if you're going to be doing this, make sure that if you have adjustable shocks, they're turned all the way down. Now to line it up on the wheel, these will end up needing to get adjusted so that they clamp the outer lip of the wheel. I haven't had a problem with going around the outside, so it's just going to end up where these flaps are facing the wheel barrel and kind of encapsulate it. Now if you care about your wheels, you're going to want to put a little bit of tape on the attachment pins just to protect the lip. Then we also need to check our vertical. So we're going to want this to 90 degrees. I got 75 and 3/8 on the back for a measurement. Going across the front, I have 74 and 7/8. So that's a ½ inch difference front to back, with the front being narrower. So to make up that difference, I will loosen the string in the back, move it in 1/4 inch on both sides, tape it down, and then now we'll have our strings square to the chassis. So we're at 3, we're going to want to go in 1/4 inch, so we'll go to 2 3/4. So we are currently at an 1/8 inch toe out. This side, on the other hand, same thing, we're at 3. And at the back, I am at, looks like exactly 3 1/8, the same. I'm perfectly okay with where this is at, but toe is usually not the first thing we want to check. We want to check caster, and then camber, and then toe. The front is actually pretty darn straight. I'm fine with it where it's at. Like I said, we need to check caster and camber first to verify everything. If I want to be more accurate than that, I have ways to adjust it. Mostly I'm worried about where my camber is set up, because that's going to be one of the bigger effects about how flat the tire is staying in the corners. Alright, we've got the gauge mounted on here. It just goes through there, and I'm just pushing this, and this is pivoting until it is tight and squared up to the vertical. Now I'll unhook my strings just to make sure that we're not pulling on these while I turn the wheel. But we're gonna want to check caster by turning our gauge on, and we're gonna make sure it's in degree mode, and we're gonna turn the wheel to 20 degrees. And now I will zero this gauge out. Now with that zeroed out, we'll turn the wheel the other way. Now we have a measurement of 4.1. So we can take that 4.1, multiply by 1.5, and that should give us a pretty accurate caster measurement. So 4.1 times 1.5, I have around 6.15 degrees of caster. Now I can repeat that process on the other side and compare the two. And now to check the camber, typically you want to do this with what's right in front of the tire, because that should be the surface that's close to. So I'll zero this back out and put it on the bracket. And as you can see, we have 3.4 degrees of camber on the passenger front of the car. It's pretty aggressive. I mean, this is a race car, but I maybe don't want that much. So we'll check the other side, see where that one's at, and then I can determine whether or not I'm gonna start putting some shims in and change that. I'm just looking at trying to get my camber dialed in to where they're even on both sides, and then make sure my toe is even and in a window that's acceptable. But it's really nice with this new QuickTrick 4 wheel kit. I certainly wouldn't be able to do this before. I only had a 2-wheel kit, and then I had to pull out strings and jack stands, basically a second person or a tape measure, back and forth, and a bunch of screwing around. I've been able to do this by myself, and that's a real big plus for me, because I don't have to try to find a second person to help me out. And what I love about it is, I mean, I'm doing this in the garage. I can also pull this thing out and do it at the racetrack. I've done that before with the old kit to help other people out and get their, a toe adjustment set in, or find out what's wrong when you can just walk by and see that something's wrong with the car, and we can throw the QuickTrick on it and check that stuff at the track, which is really awesome. I've used these guys' stuff even before they partnered up with me. It's really nice to have the ability to do a custom alignment for a race car kind of a setup, or even a street car where maybe it's outside of the factory recommended settings, and some shops just won't do that. So it's nice to be able to do it yourself. And if you want to see this car in action and you happen to live out east, I am going to Watkins Glen at the end of this month, April, for Grid Life out there. It'll be my first big track event for the year. We'll definitely have to be doing some shakedown testing with this. Hopefully we can get the dialed in fairly quick and run some competitive times of time attack.